Hello, Lana Boyack here of Your Radiant Life. And I would like to share with you a little bit about myself. For the last 25 years, I've been actively practicing as a holistic life coach, a well-being guide, including yoga, nutrition. And here I am today sitting with you, offering an insight around what the dark night of the soul journey is like. For myself, when I share, I'm sharing from a place of having come through the other side of a tumultuous experience, a challenging experience, an experience where soul is asking me to grow, to learn, to let go, to dive into a part of me that's being transformed, transmuted, shifted, changed. It's an initiation. It's something that we are all going to go through and grow through. And when I am in those places, I disappear from social media. And social media for me is not somewhere I invest my time, even when I'm in a really great space. So if I disappear for a while, it's because I am going through my own transformative journey, and I can't speak to it while I'm in it, at least not at this point, this place in my evolution. I believe I will come to a place where I'll be able to objectively share with you as I'm in something. But for the meantime, I'm here on the other side of what has been a really dense journey over the last couple months. And so what is the dark night of the soul, and what is this initiation? And I find it so interesting that the sun, the clouds are moving in and out right now, and so it's creating this casting of shadow and then light. I love it. So thank you, nature, for really being an example of this dance that we have all the time with our light, with our hope, with our faith, with our joy, with our glory, with our love, and with our shadow, with our fear, with our insecurities, with our pains, our unresolved parts that aren't love. So a dark night of the soul is that. Life decides, soul decides, it's time for us to go into a process of remembering a part of us. Because when we are in difficulty and pain and suffering and anguish and sorrow and sadness and confusion, fear, the spin, contraction, we dismember parts of us, leave, and they're shelved or they're suppressed or they're hidden, and there's such a magnificent light, a pureness, a vitality, a truth, an innocence, a perfection, a purity within those parts of us that have been dismembered. And so Dark Night of the Soul is an initiation of remembering. And it feels heavy. It feels like you're going to die. It feels like you are the loneliest of the loneliest, the scaredest of the scared you've ever been. It brings up everything that feels dense. And oftentimes, we don't even have the words to try to explain to somebody. And yet, it's a process of such introspection, introversion, interconnectedness, revelation, that it's not about speaking outwardly. It's not about having to articulate to somebody else. It's our own process, right, of refinement, discovery. And so we're going to find ourselves really maybe needing to be alone and tired, so tired, like to the bone, tired, exhausted, and disenchanted with life, feeling maybe incredibly depressed or labeling it as depression, and maybe even suicidal. These are dark journeys. That's why they're called dark nights of the soul. But after we learn how to go through that very vulnerable state And we start to steady ourselves a little bit in that discomfort and breathe and greet, like Rumi says, those parts of us that are coming up with the most utmost respect, kindness, generosity. Greet our guests. That's when the deep healing starts to occur. That is when we get refined. It's like finely polished. We soften. That integration piece is paramount, and it's another reason we're not outward. You know, you might be just making it through the day, doing what you have to do, and otherwise you are annihilated. You're alone, and you're crying, and you're confused. And again, it's such a spin, and it's such a deep place of being in uncertainty, the unknown. It's about cultivating your relationship with faith, right? That you will move through this. To be brave, to be courageous, to be steadfast, to be kind, to be patient, to be loving, to be tenacious. It's your own birthing, right? There's a rhythm, there's a process. And so the more we can start to integrate into the calm, into the deeper trust with soul, spirit, the inner mystic, the guide, the guru, higher selves, that wise part of us, we start to relax a little bit more. And the journey through the darkness, through the revelations, through meeting those parts that need to be healed and loved, which is so tough when you're feeling so broken and so sad and so alone, and your child parts. You just want somebody to just love on you, but it's the self having to love those shadow parts of the self and bring them to the light. And at the same time, when we bring that part of us, those parts of us to the light that's already there, the truth of the soul that's already there, reveals itself. Your radiance reveals itself. Your soul is your radiance. It's the purity, it's the light. So the human part is doing the growing up of those parts, the meeting of those parts, the practical aspects of meeting and greeting and reassuring and healing and loving those parts. And the soul is supporting us at the same time. So it's this really epic journey. It's an initiation of remembering the soul of the self. Okay? So this is when we feel embodied. This is the embodiment of the soul. And when we have that, feeling of embodiment of our soul, we radiate light. You live as radiance. And then the clouds come in and out, and our light feels like it's getting eclipsed, and we feel a little denser. And so be inwards in that time in a healthy way. If this is a perpetual cycle that you're in, you might need some support to navigate that dark energy, okay, that's eclipsing your light and suppressing your immune system and making you unwell overall and despondent about your life. So there's healthy shadow work, and there's needing to work with help. Okay? So we do both. We be responsible with what we're in. And so, my loves, trust this important gestation process of being in, and that your light's going to shine, and that it's still shining. Even if the clouds are eclipsing it, it's still shining. You just can't see it or feel it at the moment, but it's there. And so a practice that you can do, please, because this journey of your initiation, of going and claiming, remembering aspects of your soul, are going to require you to meet shadows. It's going to be dark. There will be dark nights of the soul. So what I've tried to remember is to get steady. Sit down, get grounded. Some of us, that works with us being in nature. Sometimes it's working with gemstones. I've been working with this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dark rose quartz. bringing a lot of tenderness to my heart and like a hug. And then breathing. There are so many different practices of breath work that can bring us to different states. I can help you with that if that's something you're attracted to. Meet those parts of you. Meet your guests, as Rumi says. Greet your guests with love. Feel them. Give them an audience and then love them. One of the most beautiful ways to do that love and release is with the prayer Ho'oponopono. I'll add a link. And then we bear witness. We move through. We grow through. We expand more. Our light starts to shine more brightly. We radiate outwards. And then we go back in. So it's this constant cycling of expanding out. And the more we release the density, the more radiant we're going to be, the brighter our light's going to be. And then we go through this refinement process where we mine and we contract and we go inwards and we heal and we reveal more of our light. We remember more of our light. And we repeat over and over and over and over and over. And this is the journey, right? Sorry about this. I want to apologize for the light doing what it's doing, but again, it's so perfect. It's completely expressing what I'm saying. It is what it is. We're in this together, but the initiatory process is solo. I understand you. I am you. I'm in this with you in my own way. And if I can be of any help for you, I understand this process. And one of what I believe my greatest soul offerings is the 25 years of work I've done with mysticism. And I offer a process, an initiatory journey of discovering more of who you are through this practice called the Inner Mystic Journey. You can find out more about this spiritual tapas, experiential learning process on my website, as well as read about me, read about my journey in the About Me. Discover who, I might be. Learn about me, not just the persona you see here, the teacher, the guide, the mentor, the spiritual advisor, but who I am and the roots of me and how I might be of service to you, how we might be of service to each other. lanaboyack.com. Trust when you are in the dark night of the soul that it's an inward time of incubation, self-study, growth, healing, revelation, and that your light will shine again. You will live as your radiance again, and that it's always there. I love you. I see you. I understand you. We're in this dance of light and expansiveness and dark and introspection. Together, we've got this. I'm proud of you, and I'm grateful to have you as a part of my soul family. Blessings, so much love, so much appreciation for you. Now, go and live your radiant life. Talk soon.